the quickness. Quick! Happy birthday to Dawn and happy birthday to Frankie. Dawn's one of the loyal Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Did anyone remember who sat here on the table? Did anyone get it?
Now, one guy basically said it was an orange and yellow monkey, but did not know the name. So we're still going. You guys just got to know the name of the orange and yellow monkey that sat between George and I.
Dustin Koch, Shane Holland, Gerald Williams, Claudel Redwine again, Jared. Thank you all for your emails.
And of course, Brian, aka Phi Tau Gomer. If I said that wrong, Brian, I am sorry. Those are the shout outs for this week. Real quick, now let's go on to the complete other side of things and talk about Keyboard Cowboys. There was a gentleman named John Plum, okay? And
what did he say?
No, seriously. Stop coming to our videos expecting to see a fight. Stop crying about a video that's 3 years old. And where's the fight? Where's the fight? Buy the fight, tape the fight, get the fight, download the fight, DVD the fight. Stop coming to fucking YouTube looking for the fight, because it ain't fucking here.
Damn.
You alright, man?
No!
Do we need to go make a trip?
Let's.
Where are you guys going?
Don't worry about it. We'll be right back.
Is this motherfucker's house, man?
It's definitely his house. Come on. John Plum.
Who wants to know?
Okay. Whew. Everything good? You held down the fort?
Yeah.
All right, good. Now,
I paid the bills, paid the heat and the air conditioning, etc.
that's why we love you, Jimmy. Now, moving on to UFC 134 that will be taking place in Rio De Janeiro.
I think this is huge for Rio.
I do too.
I think it's huge to bring what people would say bring mixed martial arts or UFC back to where they want to give it credit for starting.
Right.
The Gracies and the Jiu-Jitsu. So, and as if you've guys seen the card, it's basically the world versus Brazil.
Yeah, it really is. Even on the undercard, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna cover the main card, which we tend to do. We don't, unless there's a real big bout that's in the undercard. But we're going to start out with Luis Kane versus. I'm going to take a deep breath as I try to pronounce this name because somebody's really going to rip into my asshole about this. I'm just going to say his last name is Nedkov.
Yeah, Stanislav.
Yeah, he's Bulgarian.
Stanislav?
Yes, Stanislav Nedkov, and he's Bulgarian.
Didn't he run a country and have like a doo-doo stain on his head?
Oh,
No, that was Gorbachev.
Oh.
Yeah, he was the black Rasheed Wallace. I mean the white Rasheed Wallace. Anyway, Luis Kane versus Nedkov. Now, Kane has lost 2 of his last 3. Okay, and Nedkov is undefeated. All right, but I gotta say that Kane has faced different competition, man.
Rather than those bears that cat's been fighting over there?
Yep, none of those bears have been as stiff of the competition as Luis Kane has faced. So because of that, I'm going to give the nod to Luis Kane. I think he's going to hand this guy's first loss.
I'm going with the Dr. Nedkov.
He's going to go after Nedkov. What about you, Jimmy?
I'm going to go with Nedkov, too.
So these guys are going with the Bulgarian guy. I'm going to go with the Brazilian. Now,
Ross Pearson. I enjoy Ross Pearson because usually he stands through his punches, strikes. He's pretty, not super creative. Not as creative as, say his name.
Edson Barbosa?
Can be with that, spinning kick that he hit, slapped dude in the face with his foot.
Yeah, if you guys didn't get a chance to see that, his last fight, he did a spinning back kick where his foot just smacked him. It was like a foot slap, like a super foot bitch slap.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
What I'm getting at is I think if this fight stays in the first round, Ross Pearson has it. If it goes past the first round, I don't think Ross Pearson's going to win this one.
I'm going to go with Ross Pearson on this fight.
I'm going with Ross Pearson.
Yeah, I always want to see a stand-up guy.
Yeah, I think I like Ross Pearson a lot, and I think that he is one of the better fighters across the Atlantic in England. I just do. I really
Dude,
do.
I like him better than Bisping.
Yeah, I really do think
I
he's
mean,
better
that's
than
not
Bisping.
saying a whole lot, but
Yeah, and after Dan Hardy's recent showings, he does fight. Dan Hardy's a great fighter and everything like this, but he's dropped 4 straight. And I think this guy, Pearson, is the one that's being overlooked over there. That's just my personal opinion.
He's just in a tough division, that's all.
He really is. It's just stacked, and so but I just don't think he's getting the ink that the other guys are getting.
I think this fight here has potential to be get knockout of the night.
It really could.
No, this one we're getting ready to talk about.
Yeah, this one. Okay,
I'm not talking about Pearson. I'm talking about.
Hold on. I have a better question. Do you think this fight has the potential to retire someone?
Well, it ain't gonna be Shab.
Well, yeah, I know that.
Okay, well, the fight we're talking about is Shab versus Nogueira, and you know
Big
what I
knock,
do big knock. I think if Shab walks through Nog, I think Shab is going to beat Nog. I don't know what you guys think.
No, I agree.
I think a lot of people probably don't want to hear that, but I just think that. I think Shab is going to walk through Nog. And I think if he does it with a nasty KO or if he does it within the first round, I think that Nog could be headed down the same path as Fedor.
Now, last
I
time we
agree.
saw Nog, he was getting pounded on by Cain Velasquez.
Yes.
Now, is Shab as an accomplished striker and as deadly as Cain Velasquez? Probably not.
No.
But Nog also has a history of taking a lot of punishment.
Yeah.
So is he maybe hitting that part that we've seen where these older
Father
guys,
time.
where their chin just starts to go?
Well, I think Shab too is on the other side of it. Shab is one of these MMA fighters, like the young guys like Matt Mitrione and stuff. They're just athletes.
Dude, you
know
got
what I'm saying?
blasted for that.
I mean, this is.
I got blasted for it.
But he also wants to make a name for himself. I mean,
Right.
this is a big win to put on
It
your
really
resume.
is. These guys, you're seeing all these.
Can we go back to you getting blasted?
Okay, we'll go back. I made a comment that
Blasted by what?
By picking Matt Mitrione to fight Alistair Overeem. Dude,
Right.
they ripped you for that. I don't see.
Well-
I don't understand why you people are so high on Alistair Overeem. Let's look at who he's fought in Strikeforce and beat. Brett Rogers, he's changing tires again. Congratulations. When he's not beating up his wife.
That's a better fight.
Right.
Fabricio
And we
Verdun-
don't know how that one ended. He might have lost and got pissed off, and
It's
that's
just
why the cops came.
part one.
Fabricio Verdun, really? He didn't. That wasn't even a fight. And before that,
It
who
was.
else?
I'm going to throw you down. Fabricio sat on the mat. Nothing happened. They really didn't.
Like-
And Fabricio tagged him.
Yeah, let's stop getting. Let's Alistair Overeem should have to fight somebody on not the upper tier, but mid.
And the thing was, we were saying that who could he fight a first fight, like an introductory fight? I think him fighting someone like Matt Mitrione would be a good fight.
And let me tell you, I agree with you, Kevin, because here's the thing. Matt Mitrione, he's just not going to walk over him.
No.
I mean, it's going to be a fight.
Yeah, he's the tough guy. He's
So
going to stand and bang
it's
with him.
not a tomato can.
Yep, and he's a good athlete. He's strong. I think it's a good fight for him, an intro fight.
And if not, he should fight Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that brings us back to Brendan Schaub.
I'm going with Schaub for the win.
I'm going to go with Schaub as well.
I'm going with Shab, definitely. I think it's going to be a knockout.
Yeah. Now, let's go to the next fight. Mauricio Shogun Hua, who was the last man to knock
Can
out
we stop
Alistair.
making fucking excuses for this guy? Like, I am so sick of you Hua Shogun nut huggers. Dude, he got destroyed his last fight. I don't give a fuck what you say,
Right.
how hurt he was. It seems like he's good for one fight where he beats up Machida, or no, he was kind of hurt.
He beat Machida twice.
Well,
He did.
but he was kind of hurt.
Yeah, even though
Like, stop
he lost the
making-
fight.
But here's the other thing. In sports, there are those guys, and you can look at any sport, soccer, basketball, baseball, football, they're always hurt.
Right.
Some guys just are never completely healthy.
Right.
And you know what? That's part of sports.
Now, with that said, he's going to beat Mr. Griffin.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Hua is, he's kind of had this. I mean, when he's at his best, he is a hard guy to beat. I will say that. I think he beat Lyoto Machida twice. I thought he won the first fight. And
I
if
agree.
you put that in consideration, he would have won 4 straight before he met John Jones, who I think is probably at the apex
You
of
can't say
fighting.
that. He's so young. He hadn't fought
Right.
that many. Shut up.
But I think that he'll come back, and I think he can totally redeem himself against Forrest Griffin this time. But I just for all you Alistair Overeem nut huggers and stuff like this, and I like the guy. I think he's a great fighter, but this man was the last one. Who was the last guy to knock him out when they met 3 or 4 years ago?
In the
he got
first
knocked out.
round.
In the first round, 3 minutes and 37
Now,
seconds.
here's the question. How far is Forrest Griffin going to run if he loses this fight?
Huh?
Is Forrest Griffin going to take off and
Remember
run away
he ran,
again?
he left in that one. I mean,
don't know. Maybe
I would
he'll run
leave
for
too.
president. Maybe that motherfucker will run for some shit we don't even know.
Run into a new career is more like it.
Now,
Run
on to
into
the main.
force. Run into his name. Don't come out.
I mean, he has not looked impressive his last couple fights.
Shit.
This could, in my opinion, this could be over very quickly.
Please roll a disclaimer, because if I ever see Forrest, I don't want him to fucking.
That's a big boy.
He's a big boy, man. He is, and he's nasty.
Yeah. And he's
Yeah.
a pretty nice guy. His books aren't.
And I think if the
crooked.
fight gets into before we get off this fight, I think if the fight gets into the third round, I think he'll win.
That's how he won last time.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
I
called
think he'll win.
Shogun snoring.
Now, anyway, let's move to the main event, which the fight that pretty much everybody is tuning in to watch.
I think could possibly go down as one of the best strikers to ever be in the UFC.
Yeah. Now,
And I'm not talking about Yushin Okami.
Anderson Silva, and I'm gonna kind of take back, because a couple weeks ago I said, oh, he was in trouble. I never had a chance to actually watch the fight that he had, the previous fight he had against Yushin Okami. Yushin Okami.
You look at me.
But Anderson Silva was never. Anderson Silva was never. If you guys have a chance to watch it, it's on YouTube. You know,
That's actually a fight that's out there.
it's out there. That's one that you guys won't have to pay for because it's 85 years old. Okay, so and you'll see in that fight that Anderson Silva was never in trouble. When he threw the kick that got him disqualified, everybody cheered like, "Oh my God, it was a miracle kick." Everybody didn't realize what he had done. He was trying to explain, like the ref kind of came over like,
Right.
you know, you fucked up, son. You know, and he was kind of like, oh, I
He
did
didn't even
this.
get a warning?
No, there was no warning or anything. But the key is everybody
Was
said,
that the bail Okami out then?
huh? I don't know what it was. But
Probably somebody not talking in the earpiece he had on, telling him, you know, he just threw an illegal kick. We should DQ this because Okami's getting fucked up. I'm sure that didn't happen.
right. But the thing is like people like, and we were laughing about Chael Sonnen and it's made, oh, he was in trouble. He was not in trouble, Chael Sonnen. I'm telling you that right now. He was not in trouble, okay? And I don't have to
I'll
be
tell
an
you,
MMA.
the one thing about this match is being hyped more by Chael Sonnen, and he's not even in the match.
Right, he's not in the match.
He's not even in the fight. He'll be in the corner.
Yeah, he'll be in
But
Okami's corner.
The guy's the best promo guy out there.
Do you think that's going to mess with Anderson Silva to hear Chael's voice? Or does he even understand enough English to distinguish his voice?
I think that if I'm Anderson Silva and I've pretty much annihilated everybody else, and if I did have a rib injury, and Chael Sonnen did fail the drug test, and now this is my opportunity, because he's sitting there promoting this guy and saying this guy beat me and stuff.
I'd embarrass him.
I would embarrass him.
I would
embarrass him.
Yeah.
Like the last time, who is the last person that Anderson Silva had? When people talk a lot of shit about him, that's when you get
Vitor Belfort.
Yeah, you get a fucking front kick in your tooth, or you run out of the ring. Every time somebody starts to doubt this guy, he really proves them wrong.
Dude, and you know what, I agree with you. If I'm Anderson Silva and I'm paying attention and fucking Ed Flores is doing the translating, even though
Suarez.
whatever.
Suarez?
Fuck it, they're all named the same thing. Bunch of fucking Brazilian Smiths. Anyway,
Ref Smith.
if I'm Anderson Silva, I'm taking all these notes, have bulletin board material, and I'm going to whip Okami's ass for 25 minutes.
Right.
If I have a chance to knock him out, I'm not.
And
I'm
then
just
you're
going to back off.
calling out Chael Sonnen.
And I wouldn't even waste my time. I'd be
Right.
like, you pass the drug test and we'll fight again. I want you to pass the drug test before and after I whip your ass.
Right,
That's
right.
what I would say.
I mean,
to Chael
I would
Sonnen.
expect to see the same blueprint from Yushin Okami that we saw from Chael Sonnen.
But
Yeah.
Literally, I don't know if he can.
Well,
carry
Chael
it.
Sonnen is
And
funny
here's the
because-
other thing: Anderson Silva's had a year. I mean, after watching that tape, if you go back and watch it, and you're any type of thing, you're gonna try to avoid that, and
yeah.
you're gonna work
Dude,
on.
come on.
this.
The one thing we haven't talked, you don't think Siegel's in his motherfucking corner watching video talking about this ain't happening again?
Yeah.
You don't think Siegel's got some fucking
Siegel-
crazy
For all
ass
you people who
monkey
don't know
defense?
Siegel, that's Steven Seagal.
Siegel has probably got some, he's down in Brazil hanging out, getting plenty of ass. I don't know if he's worried about the fight, because we know how that goes.
Well, let's look. Siegel was in Anderson's corner when he kicked Vitor in the face. Siegel had helped Machida when he kicked Couture in the face.
right.
So what new move has Siegel come up with that
Let me tell you
Okami's
the move
gonna
I
see?
want to see Siegel come back on TV with his show, because I miss it.
You do?
Oh,
man,
that
the show
shit
was
was great.
What
You
show
get
is
to
this?
see it.
He
Oh,
was a cop.
he was a
And,
cop.
oh, that guy. I never saw one episode of
He
it.
needs to go to Russia
Yeah.
and be a cop.
But
Dude,
do
that'd be great.
you guys know that Chael Sonnen has fought Okami?
Cool.
Yeah, and he beat
Really?
him.
I didn't know
Oh,
that.
that's awesome.
And he beat him. He beat him. So anyway, that was just some information I threw out there in case any of you guys didn't know that. Now,
That's UFC 134 in a
that,
nutshell.
in a nutshell, right? And we're going to move on to what everybody's been talking about this week is fucking the big deal that UFC signed with Fox.
And we touched on it
A little
earlier
bit.
this week.
Mhm.
But the one thing I thought about when I left is who really, what
Ooh.
fighters can benefit from this? And the first person that came to mind was this guy, GSP.
Was this guy? I was like, motherfucker, when you start fighting?
This guy, GSP. It's his shirt.
Is that his shirt?
Yeah, a little Under Armour.
Oh, I didn't even notice that, man. damn, I'm fucked
See, I
up.
don't dislike the guy that much.
Right. Anyway, so go ahead.
But no, I think he stands the chance. He's a good-looking guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's semi well-spoken, broken English, little much.
Well, he's well-spoken. It's just this is second, he's...
Right.
Yeah.
I think he's got a chance to parlay this into a deal in Fox Canada. But let me give you a little pointer. Learn what the Daytona 500 is. Learn what the Super Bowl is. Learn what the World Series is. Why? Because all those are hosted on Fox.
Yeah.
I mean, just be able to speak on those, if nothing else.
He really should.
Learn something about American football.
You got to at least be able to say, because I saw an interview and they asked him about football, and actually I felt bad, and it was painful to watch his response that he really doesn't know.
Did you have to take some Tylenol after? It was really painful.
No, it wasn't quite that painful.
You said it was pretty painful, that you need to take Advil and some shit after
I didn't watch that shit.
You said George, right?
No, he didn't see it.
Oh, you did?
I just told him about
He
it.
told me about
for real?
it.
Yeah.
Well, fuck do
But
I
no,
watch
it's an
ESPN?
interview out there with him and Rashad Evans being interviewed by that lady that Rampage
Molested.
Roped up.
molested,
Right.
groped. And literally his response was that he doesn't really know much or anything. Come up with a few sentences about football and baseball. I mean, those are American sports. They're on Fox. And you don't have to be super knowledgeable. Just a few statements.
And this is why. And do you have something? I'm going to make it as fast as Kevin King, because I just stretch shit out. But anyway, if you've got GSP, who is a Canadian athlete, okay, you got Fox, who all these major events that they broadcast are American sports, the Daytona 500, the Super Bowl and stuff like this. He's the poster boy for the UFC, but all of a sudden you get this American fighter that's talking about the Super Bowl, that's talking about the Daytona 500. Every American watching that broadcast can relate to that guy. Right. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden they're going to say, I want that guy to beat this fucking guy.
What if we turned the TV on Sunday and Rampage Jackson sat between Howie and Michael Strahan giving his picks? I mean, that's what Jimmy said. Jimmy came up with an idea, a little more cross-promotional type thing.
And they will do that. Fox will do. I mean, we see that all the time. I watch American Idol. God, they push every show.
Yeah, right. Or you could see somebody like somebody who's like a roughneck-looking guy all of a sudden with Sons of Anarchy. These two guys got in on the board about Sons of Anarchy. It was funny.
Other guys who look to benefit from this: Kenny Florian, Stefan. I really am not a fighter anymore. Bonner, Forrest about to be out of a job. Griffin. Those guys, they could really parlay this into TV
especially
stuff.
Florian, because he's good. He's a good commentator. I think he's one of the strong.
And if he cuts any more weight, he's going to die.
Is what?
If he cuts any more weight, he's going to die. He's that far away from being anorexic.
Right. He's getting
that
down
shit's
there.
scary.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't lose. Then he may try to fight at 125, and we don't want to see that.
Yeah, we really don't want to see that.
We good?
Yeah, we're good. We're going to wrap it up. We like to see maybe ask everybody what do they think, what's the positives that can come out of this deal with Fox? Because I'm curious to see what everybody.
A lot of people are worried about a heavily commercialized product, and look, don't worry about it. It's going to happen.
Here's the thing. What's wrong with that?
No, not commercialized that way. Commercialized in the sense that, oh, cool, there's a round commercial. Oh, cool, there's a round of commercial.
Okay.
Cool, because let's face it, right now, for you people here in America who have to suffer through the 4 hours of football we have to, where they punt and it's a commercial, and then it's a commercial and a commercial and a commercial. That shit's
the thing
coming.
that you're going to see, and this is it's funny that you brought that up. Shane had wrote me and said basically that they're talking about redoing Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah,
okay?
they're gonna
Now
have live
we
fights.
all know Ultimate Fighter. You see about 20 minutes of the show, and you see about 40 minutes of fucking advertisements when it was on Spike TV. It was ridiculous. But they're talking about maybe having it where it's more interactive.
The Ultimate Fighter 15 is going to be live fighting.
It's going to be live
And
fighting.
let me tell you what, I'm still not watching. Because all it is a bunch of frat boys in a house getting shit-faced beating on each other.
Now, live fighting, and then they're saying in 2012 it could be live fighting, and the audience can pick who fights next. That's what they're thinking about doing.
And then we can vote off who we don't like, American Idol style.
Yeah.
I still think they should do a house with women.